I'm just gonna cough for a few minutes. Holy cow.
Fresh water.
Why do people bother with those big, ginormous bongs when all you need is one of those little ones? If you're gonna partake.
Yeah.
People don't need any of it. I sure as heck like it. Anyway, it makes me feel better about things. There's sometimes, though, I cannot partake. I just do not. I go on breaks where I just don't do that. Okay, let's see. It's on the music. How you doing, Ma?
I'm doing good.
For anybody that watches this later, and they want to know how you're doing, I posted a picture of you on the community part of YouTube earlier. That picture that I took of you this morning outside with that big old coat on, with my big old coat on.
Yeah.
I put a picture of that when we were in the snow.
Yeah.
When it was snowing earlier, it didn't stick much.
Yeah.
But we're supposed to get pretty snow like the next few days. It's like 4 to 6 inches, but if it snows like it did today, then we don't got much to worry about. Nope. Let's see here. I guess I could start with some Symphony Number 9 in E minor. Opera 95 from the New World.
New beginning.
To Symphony by Anthony Dvorak. Symphony Number 9. The London Philharmonic. I don't think I feel like that right now. That's kind of chill. It's bright. That's better. That's fine. It's my little light. My dimmer switch is drawing it closer or pulling it farther back. Anyway. Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Heelk empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. I got a couple of cool stories. Let's start off with the pretty rad synchronicity. Tripped the dude out. I went up, there's this, where I live pretty far from, like, any major city of any kind. The biggest city closest to me is, like, 2 hours away. And I read a story that today in that city, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, it's so funny on these pages where they post all this crime that happens in New Mexico. I'm always like, man, where do these people go wrong? I'm sure, you know, and thank goodness we don't get to blame the parents and all this, you know, I just talk trash. And they get so mad, like it's their beloved land, you know. They defend land. It's like the people that live on the land are freaking nuttier than fruitcakes and going around killing. Today, the story I read, a woman was doing one of those dine where they deliver the food.
To the house?
Yeah, like there's like cab drivers for people's takeout now.
Yeah.
Somebody's idea, they came up with that. So you got people that they can order food online, and some stranger that's Dine Dash or something like that. Anyway, and this woman was just she goes to this house and she's trying to verify the address to make sure that this is the right, you know, if this is the right place for her. Right. And a freaking gun wielding jackass comes out of the house. right? Some chick like freaking waving a gun around. What are you doing here? Get out of here. And the lady's like, dude, yeah, okay. Didn't order food. Get it. She starts to take off. And then freaking more people come out of the house and start shooting at her. Because they're all tweaked out of their mind and stuff. I'm like, welcome to America 2023. Everybody cares about everybody. But the synchronicity, here's a pretty cool synchronicity that happened. So I live about 2 hours north of Albuquerque. The closest town that has like any kind of like, I mean, there's where I live, there's not even a gas station. There's a little market. They call it Midtown Market. And they got a lot of cool stuff in Midtown Market. They sell coffee from Oregon. I wonder if I could get them to switch to Zabars. Anyway. And then they connected to that, they have a tavern. So I look up the menu. I'm a foodie. And maybe I'm like, maybe they have like exceptional food. Either they're going to have just like more of the same crappy tavern food, or it's going to be exceptional in some capacity. So I've been meaning to try it out for a while. They have like paninis and things like that. And the salad's pretty good that I got. But I got me some nachos. They were so ginormous. They had too many jalapenos for me. But it was all right, you know. And then Mom got a hamburger, but she ended up with the cheeseburger. And then it comes with chips and salsa. The salsa, bueno. It tastes like Chevy's salsa. Anything that tastes close to Chevy's salsa, that's like my measure of my favorite salsa, is Chevy's Mexican. Because they blacken the tomatoes and onions and peppers, and it gives it another flavor. And they blacken it on mesquite wood, so it gives it an extra boost in flavor. So, anyway, so I finally ordered the food, and it's like there's like this road that goes to the back way. You can go. I could walk in a ginormous loop if I wanted, right? And so I decided I'm going to walk up to pick up the food. So I put on my backpack so I can carry the food back with me. And I go into the store because I thought it was going to snow more, so I wanted to get some snacks. So I got some, like, Ruffles, because I got some onion dip in the fridge still, and then I got some, like, bean dip and creamer, because I ran out of just regular creamer for my coffee, because sometimes I like the option to have it or not. And then I went in next door and to get my to-go food, and when I called, the man was like, you know, he was being real thorough and stuff, and we were just had a brief. During the time that I ordered the food, I'm not going to go through the whole conversation because I don't feel like it. But in the short time, it was that I ordered my food. And I introduced myself on the phone, and then went down and got it, introduced myself in real life. Talked to the guy. Where's my wallet? Found out that he made edibles too. That he has a business where he makes edibles too. And, I gave him one of my business cards, and he also sells clones. And he works for I don't need that business card. I don't think I need that business card either. She just gave it to me. Oh, there it is. Arrowhead Canyon Farm. So now I gotta look on Instacrap. I didn't see that there's an Instacrap so Joe works, he's sales and marketing for Arrowhead, and then he has his own side thing too. So that was kind of cool. That wasn't the synchronicity. So the other day, I've been going through stuff because I'm trying to get rid of stuff that we really don't need to keep anymore. Right? The stuff that, like, there's the sentimental stuff, you know, the significant stuff, but there's a lot of buttons and odds and ends and things like that, from the old days, from back in Mom's hoarding days. She don't hoard no much, because she don't have that vibrational frequency of lack, because I make sure that she always feels like she's taken care of and that she has choices in life. And so the other day I found this folder that was my brother's in like the second grade when he went to moral-based schools before he moved to Reading. And it was a trip. Like, it had its social security card, or not card, but number on the front of it. And then inside it had all this, like, early childhood programming for budgeting and, you know, luxury items, and this much for rent and this much for your car. And it was like him, like, already, like, you know, what he wants to be when he grows up. Already not teaching the kid not to be in the present moment, you know, taking him away. Anyway. So inside, it also had, like, father's name and then mother's maiden name. And there were periods of time when I was younger. I remember Mom referring to, like, because Mom was adopted. Mom was adopted when she was 3. But I always got, like, bits and pieces of different stories. Never landed on the truth. You haven't yet. Don't really know. Don't know if we ever will until I take my last breath. And then I believe all the truths are given. All of them are verified. Anyway. But there was something in there that said that her maiden name was Cisneros. And she said it before, and we've had these guys, and then this is the first time I've ever seen this folder of my brother's. And so I was like, well, okay, well, maybe that's the family name. Maybe, like, she was more open mouth. Maybe she freely spoke about it more with Jerry than she did with me, and he knew something that I didn't, right? And so now, fast forward 48 years, you know, or for her 72, you know, and I go down to this tavern. Didn't forget about that part yet. Go down to this tavern, and there's this guy sitting at the end of the bar, and he's the one that he said something to me, and so he engaged a conversation. I went down to talk to him, and I began to tell him, he said, I just, you know, he started naming off places around here. I said, I'm ignorant. I'm not from around here. I said, but the funny story is, I believe my mom is. I believe she was born around here, and she has a cousin up in Cuesta, and, you know, because this place was never on my radar, and the guy's like, I've heard, you know, the mountain calls people here. The mountain, Mount Wheeler, it calls people to this area. Geography summons people by its energetic imprint. And however your frequency is, your heart, your desire my desire to keep my family drew me here. That was my desire. I didn't care about where the place was. I had no say in it. I was like, wherever, God, wherever you want us. And this is where we ended up. Anyway, so I'm telling the guy, and I'm like, I said, she's got a lot of relatives, you know, with the last name. And I said, but her last name, I just found a document the other day that said her last name was Cisneros. And the guy, like, the kid, he was probably in his 30s. And he just went, he was so taken back. And he was like, that's my last name. I said, we might be related. Said my mom was born in 1950. I tell everybody, I'm going to go to the library and see if I can find something in the history books around here. My mom was born in 1950. She was adopted in 1953 from El Paso, Texas. She was born with 2 club feet. That sets her apart from all the other people on the planet that were not born with 2 club feet. I believe she was taken away from her family because that's what the system does. It designs reasons to tear families apart. It's been doing it for a long time. Doesn't come up with solutions to keep families together, reduce stress, make things easier for them just to be together and live. Doesn't do that. No. Divides to conquer, instill fear, and things are changing. So I thought that was a pretty cool synchronicity. That dude was like, whoa. But I can't stick around in bars too much, especially in the winter, man. I love it, dude. I love Oblivion. I was thinking about, I just took a shower because I wanted to take a real hot shower to warm up. It's cold today where I live, and I was taking a shower and I was thinking about that, about like, you know, when I feel like I do want to drink alcohol, I play it all the way through. It's what they call play that tape all the way through like it's a movie. Okay, say you're going to do it. What would that look like? And then I play the movie and okay, I go up to the bar. You know, I walk home. The walk-in stagger for me. It feels like my hips are up into my shoulders. Like I don't got no torso and I just brr, 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 and I, you know. One time I got so wasted I tried to walk home one night from the bars, a night out drinking. The thing of it is I lived in Sacramento, and when I started walking I was in San Francisco. Yeah, people will come up with good ideas, you know. So I've been tracking this Idaho situation, and I did find another, like a true crime kid guy that does his talks, and he also believes that this is not his first time killing. He actually has gone farther, and he actually tied the dude, I won't say his name because he don't deserve it. Everybody knows who he is anyways. He's a scumbag. He's a coward. He's a piece of trash. He's a dime a dozen. And but this dude on this one crime show tied him to a murder in Salem, Oregon, where I moved from. In Silverton, where the all the waterfalls are. I actually looked up restaurants. See, I do things like Brian. Like you go to a place, you find his thing was vegetarian food, like vegan, vegetarian. I guarantee if he ever went to Omaha, chances of him going to Modern Love are very high. You know what I mean? The thing of it is I don't have dietary restrictions. I mean, in a restaurant, it depends on the mood. But I used to look in Silverton, I used to look up steakhouses because they had some nice steakhouses. But it was a little, from Salem, it was like a, I don't know, 20-mile drive or 15-minute drive or something like that. You know, it was, and I drove up there a time or two. You know, it's a nice, pretty drive. Go to the waterfalls, stuff like that. I did that, you know. The difference between me and people like him is discipline. I'm fit. I stay fit like he, you know, stuff like that. The thing of it is it's ego. Ego is easing God out. The people that don't have the discipline to just do all the things that, like, all collectively, like what the religion said, you know, like, don't hurt people, don't lie, don't cheat, just that stuff, right? And then you don't even have to think about the harm that, you know, harming people. You don't hurt people, you don't hurt animals. Simple as that. You don't do sex stuff with kids. It is amazing to me how much weird stuff people are doing to get their freaking rocks off. It's more of it's coming out. I believe all these things have always been prevalent. I mean, you talk to anybody that's worked in a hospital, you get the stories galore, the stuff that they pull out of dudes' butts. these are just facts. People just, they do weird things to chase sensations, is what I call it. To get to do things that feel good. Sometimes you don't gotta feel that good. If you gotta do certain things to do it, it's not worth it. There's a lot of talk. This is probably going to tick some people off. I'm so tired of hearing about how society is emasculating men. The individual tears themselves up or builds themselves down. It's always up to the individual. Has nothing to do, what other people think about us has nothing to do with us. I know we get our feelings hurt and all that stuff is involved. Ultimately, it really has nothing to do with us. They're having their own individualized, separate experience. And we don't know their frame of reference. And a lot of people are going to have their own weird, trippy stuff going on. So I've been thinking about it. I'm like, dude, men emasculate themselves. It doesn't take any effort from anybody else. They do it themselves. First way they emasculate themselves, they get a gut. They stop working more, put more of an effort in to themselves, and decided to eat their feelings more or drink more or whatever. But the input started becoming more than the output of taking care. So they got a gut. And then what happened is, you know, I mean, I hear a lot of stories, you know, Guys really care a lot about their I mean, they tie bows on them for, I mean, it's weird. I don't know. I've never like had a body part that I appreciate so much that I don't know. It's weird what people do, but to each his own. Just because they're different than me don't mean whatever. So, they emasculate themselves by getting a big old gut. So when they look down, they see a big old gut. They don't even see what makes them a man. They can't even see their penis. See? And then the only time that they can is when they look in the mirror. Right? And how many people on the planet, I see it all the time. People get in relationships. I did it. I wasn't like, okay, where was I? I was in a fit stage when I got into because my weight has gone up and down. I eat my feelings. That's how I know that when people do it, because I'm like, I do it. So that's how I can tell. And so like I was on this on and off thing for like, I don't know, 8 years, and that ended in 2010, and it just wasn't fun anymore. It stopped being fun a couple years before that, but that was like the done deal. And then she went off and married a dirty cop in Philly, and you know, that was the end of that timeline, that storyline. And but I got into a relationship, and I got up to near 200 pounds because I eat when I'm happy, right? And then I think about, okay, well, I guess a lot of other, and then I don't, you know, I get stressed, and then I don't eat. That's when I lose weight. But anyway, but you know, they emasculate themselves, you know, and then having a look, and then I'm not saying that other people, the outside sources, don't contribute and compound those feelings that they already have and affirm them. I'm not saying that. They do, you know, and people start out and they look one kind of way, and then it's like, I always felt like it's like, you know, how many people want out of a relationship because it's like somebody gained a lot of weight, and then it's like, dude, I didn't sign up for this, you know, till death do us part. Hi, Kat. You had a dream about your husband that passed in April. What was the day in April? We like to drink. That term wasted, true, wasted. Funds, mostly wasted time, met lots of people, but glad I'm not into it out. Bows. I got, yeah, Oblivion. I like the Blotto. Why do you, there's no one by you. What's the matter? Did you have a dream? What's the matter? May I kiss you? Nobody? You know what? I wonder if it started snowing again. Nope, there's not even any clouds. What's the matter, Pissy? She said, I'm not in the mood. You leave me alone. I'm not in the mood. April. Her husband died in April. I remember that. Okay, because after, yeah. 24th. So, okay, so he died in Taurus season. Interesting. Somebody else, see what I'm trying to go through the data bank on the significance of that date. Whatever. See, one of my earth angels now. That's a trippy significance. One of my channel contributors. I got a couple. For my tiny tube, but one of them, her husband, he liked to drink, and her husband passed away on my niece's birthday, which is kind of trippy. Kind of, there's I look at a lot of things in life as mirror disco balls, right? I look at God, source, like all things, as the mirror ball in its entirety, and then I look at people as we're like little specks, we're like the little individual mirrors, and how are we going to reflect our energy? Are we going to live more from our spirit or more from our ego? Some incarnations we live more, I think as we incarnate and die and come back and die and come back, we're supposed to get closer to being a bigger part of the disco ball, But I see on the planet, there's so many individual mirrors, they're just their own mirror, and, they're the captain of their own ship, and that's all there is, and they're going to have lots of incarnations with that kind of attitude. James the Gray. Yes, it's Marge. You okay, Artie? Go ahead, buddy. My little old man. You my oldest man is a doma. I'm making it weird, ma. That's my little old man. He's 13, huh? He's a mommy pissing me off, ma. You're making it weird, ma. This a good boy. Good boy. Oh, good boy. Good boy, handsome. You're my first, huh? I had a dog for 17 years. And he taught me about unconditional love because my parents didn't. I know about it now, so I love my parents unconditionally. But, they were just young and dumb, and they didn't know what they were doing, and it was a different age, and it was a different era, and I mean, there ain't no time in history that people didn't get neglected, Everybody on this planet that's born, either you're born into a family that you're going to be neglected, or you're born into a family that, cares about feelings and embraces you and loves you and all the good stuff, right? That wasn't my experience in this incarnation as a child, as it wasn't so many others. So, it's all about learning life experience. It's all about having experiences, your spirit having it. It's like, I picture life, our spirit, when we're born. Before we're born, the Akashic Records puts out a piece of paper like a sushi menu. It's how you order sushi. You put a little X next to what you want. the unagi or, you know, whatever. The tuna roll, you know, whatever. They all have little clever names or whatever sometimes. But then, and then you come here, and then you try to match the life experiences. Okay, did this, did that, had this, had that, did this, did that. You know, there's a lot more to life than just going to school from kindergarten until graduate school, whatever whatever they tell you. I got a degree. I got that bull crap on my wall too. I did it. I fell for it too. But that's just, you know, it's not stuff. Now I went to that, but now I tell people don't even bother learn a trade. Learn practical skills. Learn how to do something fun that's going to be useful, right? My degree's in IT. I'm a stay-at-home daughter. I don't use it. Well, yeah, I could work, you know, but why do I gotta have to worry about freaking interrupting a client because I gotta stop and take the dog out? Right? So I could satisfy people's expectations of me, so that way I collect a W-2. That's not there's more to life than all that. There's just, people are figuring it out. They're finding it, you know. It's unfortunate that so many young people these days, it's just like, they feel like they get in one relationship as a teenager and they just like, they fall apart when it ends, and it's just like, okay, this is what life is. I'm not going to do it. And they check out early, you know. They don't even wait till the good stuff. Don't even try. It's a bizarro, man. People have gotten real. I mean, I'm real emotional and real soft, and, you know, I'm like, yeah, but you got to learn how to talk yourself off ledges. People got to learn. I had to learn a long time ago how to talk myself off, because there's been a lot of times, like, I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm scared, you know. I'm scared, you know, what do I do? You know, you got to talk yourself off the ledge, because you can't call people in the middle of the night, tell me it's going to be okay. I don't know anybody like that. I don't know if anybody else does or not, but I don't know anybody like that. I guess I could get online. Maybe that's what I should do, is like talk it out online. Talk everything else out. But life's trippy. I was looking at my dictionary. I love words. I love words. I've always loved words. And I got this book. This is one of those old-time Webster's New 20th Century Dictionary, unabridged. This is the second edition. So this is my library. This is my dictionary. And the cool thing about this is, there's a little inscription right here. In the corner of it right here. There's some lighting right there. Probably can't read it. Anyway, can't read it. I'll read it to you. Don't you worry about a thing. It says, Irvin M. Gardner. Is that what Irene. Was it Irene, Ma?
It was Irene.
Irene? It was? Irene M. Gardner, Project City, California, 1967. Now, if you ask anybody that went to Project City School in Project City, California, it's not even called Project City anymore. It used to be Central Valley, and now it's called the City of Shasta Lake. It's lame. It's right before the Shasta Dam, 3 Shastas. Shasta Dam, Shasta Lake, and Mount Shasta. It's a really cool place to grow up. Anyway, Mom was her neighbor for a number of years. She was like the school the class grandma for Mrs. Brown's class. Mrs. Brown was third grade? First grade. No, Mrs. Davis Mrs. Brown was 3rd grade. Mrs. Davis was 1st grade. And she was her, like, class grandma, and she'd play the piano, and she'd give people lemon drops sometimes. I get a lemon drop every now and again. Yeah, so, but she lived on the corner. She had, I gotta look up what kind of car she had. She had a sweet old ride. That thing was freaking sweet, man. It was rad. She would mob in that thing. She'd mob. It had a V8 in it, you know. Anyway, so she did that for like, what, 30-something years? So anybody, how many, so 37 years you got, you know, 25, we'll say, or an average of 30 students, we'll say average of 27 students. $999. That's so funny. It's 999. My birthday's the 9th of April, which is the 99th day of the year. So that's my 999. So that's roughly how many students, like, do anyway. But also I have my birth time 111. So that was cool too. So, but it was a pretty chill day today. Thank you, James the Gray. I'm not, yeah, I know kindness always wins. That's why sometimes I lose. I am not always kind. That's the thing. I always learn the lesson of not being kind. It's like filling out an application. I don't mind hugs. I'm a big hugger. Learn a trade, yeah. See, I didn't have any student loan. That is what got me towards, to get that, I was like, fine, I'll give Uncle Sam 6 years. Then I'll use the GI. I'll go to college while I'm in, and then that way I won't have any student loan, no student debt. And that was my goal, is to get my bachelor's degree before my enlistment was over. I'm not even exaggerating. The last day of my enlistment was Mom's birthday, 2006, November 28th. And then the last day of class for the signature series at that university I went to, that's like, they have an extra class that everybody takes that they created individually. It was just such bullshit. But you know what? I learned a lot, and the professor was actually really cool, and he was in recovery like me. He died since then in concert. I went to his funeral. Dr. Ed Rawhut, he was a neat man. We talked, yeah, we had a lot of really cool conversations. It was a Saturday morning class. He had me at like 8 o'clock Saturday morning. It was way freaking north Omaha, and I live like south. It was, I mean, you know, the stuff that, anyway. But, learn a trade. Learn a trade. For sure. But I ended that last class, it was the 19th of November. So it was 19th of November to the 28th, so that's 9 days before the end of my enlistment. Sometimes I was sweating it. I clept out a couple. That's where you could just go in, get a little book about the subject, just read the book, and then take the test on the class and get the credit for the course without even having to take the class. See, that's how easy it is in the military. Why can't it be like that for everybody? Because people are so, don't you know who they are, and they're that much. See, they never should have let me in the club because I got too big of a mouth. I mean, they had a building where I could go. My speech class was like in the hangar on base, And I lived out the back gate, so I could just drive, instead of having to drive to a campus in Omaha, I could just go there. And in the hangar, they had like a bowling alley, you know. They had a bowling alley. You could still smoke in there. That was a trip when I moved there, because you couldn't smoke indoors in California. In like 96, I think they stopped that. But like, you go out, and then you could do stuff like go to a bar, buy a 12-pack from the bar at closing, and then take it to the next place with you. I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, I don't mind hugs. I like hugs. The young folks are pretty wild. I dig the young folks, but like here, I came across some young, enterprising young kids. I was a little slow to the show. They were selling candy at the park, and and it took me a little while, and then I figured out, oh, these guys fucking stole the candy, and then brought it to the park to sell. But whenever I'm like, that's why I feel like I need to go to the library, and start reading and talking to young folks there. But you just had a 999 moment at work. Same freak tried. I'm not like, I'm a part of a conversation on Discord because of Jessica Naked and Laughing. But I'm not like really on Discord. I get notifications. I have the app on my phone. Who am I on Discord? I am actually on Discord. My logo is the t-shirt that I'm wearing. This is my t-shirt. This is my design. So it's this t-shirt, just the picture. And it's Third Eye activated server. I got my own server. I got 2 members on it. This is the picture of when Shannon, my last failed relationship, when we broke up, and then we were kind of friends, and she owns the embroidery shop that did these. And so when she did these, she sent me the picture. That was it. This is the picture, in case people didn't see it, of little mom outside. I put my coat on her. Actually, it started out, it wasn't that cold. She's so sensitive. She had a stroke when she was 38. She's 72 now. She just turned 72. So she had a long sleeve shirt on. She had her sweater on, her lounge sweater, just old lady sweater that she wears all the time sitting in her chair. And then I had this sweater on. Excuse me, Mom. Then this one, I had this one on, which is thicker and heavier. So she had 3 layers on, right? And so I said, Mom, come out, because it was snowing pretty good. It was real, real pretty. And she won't experience life unless I encourage her to experience life from time to time. Otherwise, she'll just sit in the chair. So we walk around the front yard, stuff like that. And it was so pretty. I just, I had her come out. I was going to take a couple pictures of her. And so I had her outside, and I was like, oh, shit, I got to run and get my jacket. And it wasn't in the closet where it was all the way back there, so at the end of the bedroom. So by the time I got back out and put it on her, she was outside. She was just freaking shaking. She was trembling so much. I was like, oh, my God, I can't believe you're so cold right now. So I put the coat on, and then I was like, Mom, breathe with me. I've had to do this with her a lot in my life. So we haven't had every single mother-daughter relationship on the planet, where you like call your mom and get advice. Like a lot of things, outside forces deprived me of having these experiences with my mom. Because when she was born, she doesn't know anything about menopause, because they cut her uterus in half when she had me. and took out one of her ovaries, which created a great imbalance. So then they're like, here, take this bullshit hormone pill because your hormones are imbalanced. They create the problem and then make people pay for the solution that they impose. And that is the society that I am excited to watch fall. All of these control freaks, all of these maniacal. I was on Facebook today, this morning. See, I don't need to look at social media when I wake up because I'm like, don't always wake up real good. And they posted on, I think, Taos billboard or something like that. You can go look at it. It's probably still there. They were so honored to talk to the mayor, and they did a video, you know, the mayor. And I was like, I would have asked the guy if he's ever changed his own tire. We live in a town of like 7,000 people. The guy, I mean, you look at, he doesn't, you could tell he doesn't even do his own laundry. They're not real people. Real people don't have real problems. He was in the Navy for like 4 years, you know, and it's like, and I made a comment. I said, well, my grandfather, word is, was a mayor in New Mexico, Robert Yoakum. Does that mean I get a seat as mayor someplace? Because that's kind of how it works around here, isn't it? And so, and it's like, you know, it's like people that don't know what it's like to go without food. To have to choose between one utility over another because you still got to have enough gas to get to the job that barely pays you. So you got to juggle, you know? But you got these freaking people in charge. These people that give all the budgets out to the people that are going to keep them in their seats. But they don't care about freaking regular people. That's what I'm sick of, man. They prove it themselves. They prove it themselves every day. Like the guy, like how many people can't find a place to live in this community? And now it's just, I mean, it's not just this community. It's in California. It's in Oregon. I don't think it's in Nebraska. It hasn't hit Nebraska yet. There's still plenty of reasonably priced places to live in Nebraska, but it's fucking Nebraska. You know, they all worship Big Red in Nebraska. Everything's about go Big Red. All their energy harvesting is just. As a matter of fact, I forgot to talk about this the other day. It's just, I can't stand sports. You know, for all kinds of reasons. There's still homeless people in Nebraska. Oh, yeah. So there's an article the other day, and this is a screenshot I took from the article. And this is annual compensation for coaches at a college football team. Marcus Satterfield, offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, $1.4 million. College isn't worth it, folks. Learn a trade. Because you're just paying for their egos. You're paying for their house in Nebraska. You're paying for their vacation house up in freaking South Dakota. You're paying for wherever they want to be. You're paying for it. And your education is obsolete in about 6-7 months. As soon as they change the syllabus, it's obsolete. Ed Foley, special terms coordinator, $550,000 a year to play a game. That if they like playing it so much, just meet down on Sunday afternoon and play it. Then think about all the resources, all the money, all the things that could go to be helping people that we really, you know. Maybe that money could go to families that need it so they could just be family members and not worry about where their next meal's going to come from. But people play too much, man. They play too much and they don't put the work in. E.J. Barthel, running back coach, $285,000. Evan Cooper, defensive pass game coordinator and secondary coach, $670,000 a year. Terrence Knighton, defensive line coach, $400,000. Corey Campbell, head football strength and conditioning coach, $450,000. It's all bullshit. All of it. All of it. All of it. Anyway. Hi, Jason. How are you? Zero did ya? There. I got that from Key Jin. I thought that was cool from her last channel, is that she made everybody a moderator. So that's ode to Key Jin. That would suck if a moderator if somebody just started talking shit and then like blocking other moderators. If someone went rogue or whatever. Ooh, it's 7:17. I like that number. So what else is going on before I wrap this up? I've been running my mouth. Let's see here. I sometimes I'll save stories. New York firefighter. More of the examples of self-wills that run riot when people don't control themselves, when people don't do that, don't cause harm to that human being. No, they're like, F that, I'm doing what I want. Don't they know who I am? New York firefighter accuses chief of raping her as a birthday present. This was a terrible story. Yeah, it was a terrible story. But they just do what they want. They get drunk and they don't care. They don't care about the consequences. They don't care. And then they do what they want. And then they sober up and they're like, oh God, now what do I got to do to clean up my mess? You can't clean up the messes anymore. Astrology keeps talking about it. They've been talking. We're going to see more and more truths reveal. It's how life is. People I show people who I am. I've done almost 2,000 videos of showing people exactly who I am. And every day I show my warts, my ugly stuff, my you know, that's why I've been doing this 6 years. I ain't got no I don't get 1,000 subscribers. I mean, I think like the biggest window of me growing in subscribers was like 6. I mean, it's just, that's not what I'm doing. I'm just trying to be an example. Whoever is receiving the messages that I give, they can determine whether my example is a positive or a negative one. I don't care. This is my video diary. Chances are poles are going to flip, sun's going to go out, Earth's going to lose power for years, you know? And my talks are going to be sitting somewhere. It's just my account, man. This is just my account, my perception on how I see life based on my life experience. And not a lot of people have had my life experiences like I've had. Just like there's plenty of life experiences that I've never had that a lot of other people have had in life. Ultimately, we're all the same, man. We're all the same. You know, people try so hard to be so different, so special, so unique. A lot of times, we're all the same. Anyway, I've been running my mouth. I can't believe I've been talking for about an hour, almost an hour. It's about all I got now. For now, thanks for hanging out. For those that hung out tonight, thanks for hanging out.